Okay, so today we are finally actually working with decimals and fractions. Remember, those are rational numbers, okay? We've got this diver. They've swum down to negative 20 and 3/4 feet. She notices this sea turtle that's above her, and she rises 6 feet, right? So that's positive. At what elevation does the diver take this picture? Now, if you haven't already, you need to press pause right now and see if you were able to figure this out by yourself. Actually pause it and try to do it on your own, and I'm going to work through it. So I'm going to do it with just an expression because that's too many zero pairs to draw, and I don't want my number line to be that long. So I know negative and 23/4 feet is where she is. So this is how many negatives I have, okay? Positives, I only have 6 feet. So I am visualizing, if I were to draw that out, how many zero pairs would I have? I would have 6. So I need to get rid of 6 from my negatives because those are the zero pairs. So I'm going to take 20 negatives, and I'm going to subtract 6 from that. That leaves me with 14 and 3/4 feet. So in my head right now, I did this, right? So imagine I have 20 of these that are negative and only 6 that are positive, right? So I did this part in my head. I got rid of those 6 zero pairs. What's left is still going to be negative. And when I did the math, I see that it's negative 14 and 3/4 feet. So to make sure we fully answer this question, at what elevation does the diver take the picture? The diver takes the picture at negative 14 and 3/4 feet. And that's it for this first question. This page of the packet, again, it's nothing for you to do. It's just showing you different ways to get to the same answer. So you can model this on a number line, right? You can start at negative 20 and 3/4 feet. And then if you go up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? The first one would be negative 19 and 3/4, and then negative 18 and 3/4, negative 17, 16, 15, 14, and 3/4. So you can do it that way as well. And the second way is kind of what I did on the other page. It's breaking it apart, right? So you have these negative 20 and 3/4, and then you know you need to add 6 to that. So first they took out the fraction. I didn't do that. So they made it negative 20 by itself and negative 3/4 by itself, and then this positive 6 because you rose 6 feet. Then on this line, they just moved the negative 20 and the positive 6 together. And then finally, they did that math. So they didn't show you the zero pairs like I did, the negative 6, positive 6. They just did the math. 20 minus 6 is 14, and it's negative because you have more negatives. And then that 3/4 is still there. It didn't go anywhere. So you still end up with negative 14 and 3/4. That's all this page is showing you. Just two different ways to model it. All right, last page. Going to go through these to make sure you understood and got all the necessary information. What elevation does the diver take the picture? We already know that. How does the picture help you understand that the sea elevation is negative? Well, the picture said this: sea level was here and the diver was still down here somewhere. So anything underneath this, under sea level, would be negative. So to answer it, I see it's still negative because it's under sea level. Okay, so that's how we know it's negative, because it is under sea level. Number 2, say it were decimals, 20.75 instead of 20 3/4. How could you use this strategy? It would be exactly the same way. I could still use this number line, but instead of negative 20 3/4, I'm just going to put negative 20.75. Absolutely nothing is different. This is sea level. And I would still just, do this. 6 feet, go up 6 feet, and it's going to put you at negative 14 75/100. Nothing changes about the strategy, just switch from fractions to decimals. Number 3, it says, how can you break apart the mixed numbers to find the sum? So we have these are different numbers now. So we have negative 20 3/4 and negative 12 1/4. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the negative 20, and we're going to add to that the negative 12. Okay? This means on a number line, I'm already moving to the left, and then I move to the left some more. So I add these, and it's negative, right? So I started at negative 20, and now I'm even further negative, negative 32. And then I have 3/4, it's negative, plus a negative 1/4. If I add that, I get negative 4/4, which is the same as negative 1. So negative 32 and a negative 1 gives me negative 33. All right? If they are all negative, you're adding them and keeping their sign. Okay? How is adding? I'm not going to do number 4 right now. And then the reflection is going to be different. I personally like a number line so I can visualize, like, is this going to be positive or negative? So for instance, that last one, if I were at negative 20 and then I am subtracting, that means I'm going this way for the minus 12. I like to see it, but I need the expression to add and subtract the decimals, right? Like doing this on a number line is difficult for me. So I need to see the expression for the fraction part or the decimal part. Last thing, this is what you're going to see on your exit ticket. I want to make sure you understand this big idea, okay? If I have negative 18 plus 6, will my answer be positive or negative? Well, do I have more negatives or more positives? I have more negatives here, so my answer will be negative, okay? Whereas if I have 3 plus negative 1, do I have more negatives or more positives? I have more positives this time, so whatever answer I get needs to be positive. That is something that we kind of were messing up on our last exit ticket. So pay attention to that. Take your time. You're going to need to show work, especially for this first one with those decimals. And yeah, go ahead and complete your exit ticket.